Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Planestic Tautology's Final Fantasy Feast, where we're going through every mainline numbered Final Fantasy game in numerical order. We're still at it with Final Fantasy 1. Last time we got out of the center area, like the sea, I guess. And then a dwarf made an explosion that made a canal. And now we're in the rest of the world. So hopefully we can do something with those, crystals. In Seattle, we are coming out of some, honestly, pretty cold days. And now it is warm. Turns out I don't like when it's warm. And by turns out, I mean I've known this the whole time. We're still fighting werewolves. Okay, sure. In other news, and I do apologize if this is a bit loud or whatnot, or if it's not loud enough, I was trying to troubleshoot so many different audio problems over the course of this weekend. I am now on... I started on Thursday when I felt like butts. I had a mixer. And then I had a different mixer over the weekend, and today I now have a third mixer. If that sounds insane, it is, but I'm insane, so that's fine. But this one should actually do what I want it to. It's going to take a lot more fiddling than I have, time for. But it should do what I want. Mostly. When you want to play games, in HDR, 4K 120, not that this needs 4K 120. This is Final Fantasy. This is Final Fantasy 1. Did that sneeze come through? I'm sorry if it did. I guess I'll find out in post. Ow. But it's a lot of, it's going to be, I want to play in 4K 120, and also my PC is at my desk, as is my Switch 2 dock, and they are connected to the television via a 50-foot unidirectional HDMI cable, because, I'm crazy. But it's also because my only monitor is a television. I don't... the last time I had a desktop tower and also a PC before this gaming rig, it was probably 2005. Because that is when I had a, some Dell, the sort of thing you have when you're a teenager. You know how it is. I shall not pass. Okay. I guess I shall not pass. But it's this thing of... I got my first Mac in 2005. I got a 12-inch PowerBook G4. And for those of you who don't know anything about Macs, that I'm basically saying it's old. For those of you who don't know what a PowerPC processor is, a PowerPC processor are processors made by Motorola. They still make them. PowerPC processors are still a thing. Excuse me one moment. There we go. I'm poisoned? Are you kidding me? F off. Whatever. I think I'm gonna hit the N after this. Anyway, PowerPC processors, they're old architecture, and, like, you know, there's still things that support them, but, like, because they're so weird, it kind of limited, like, that's why there was that perception of, oh, you can't do anything on a Mac, is because they had, it's like part of why the PS3 is this weird, bizarre spot in, like, Sony's stuff, and why there's, like, why it had a backwards compatibility problem, and why the PS3 is a backwards compatibility problem now, is because all that stuff was developed for a different architecture. Which, you know, you can only do so much with. So they switched to Intel, and apparently the big thing was like, oh, we've made all of OS X work with Intel since OS X, which, like, that's getting deep into Apple lore. That's a different show. That's if I ever do, like, a HyperCard show, I guess. But otherwise, it's like, but otherwise, it's like, then they switched to Intel. And from Intel, you know, you had a further proliferation of Mac as a quote-unquote viable platform. Like, that was when the Mac, like, college kid boom happened, because I was a college kid when that switch happened. Funnily enough. And it's, you know, it's, so you have the Intel stuff, and that was an architecture for a while, and now Apple's making their own in-house chips, and that's the current architecture. So it's, you know, to say my first Mac was a PowerPC dates me. I mean, as does it having a 4:3 screen ratio. But anyway, from, like, 2005 until, like, literally, like, end of 2019, like, extremely early 2020, and by extremely early 2020, I mean, you know, before COVID, I did not have, like, a PC at all. And then I got a gaming PC, and most of my excuse for that was playing Final Fantasy XIV in 4K. And let me tell you, Final Fantasy XIV in 4K is gorgeous. It's so beautiful. It's worth it. Like, and I don't play with mods or anything. I played vanilla Final Fantasy XIV because that's what I wanted to play the game for. And it was just so pretty in 4K. And, like, now I have other games on it, but not really anything that taxes it. Metaphor ReFantazio might, but I don't know. I mean, I do also have Final Fantasy 15 on it now, and I'll eventually get 16. But yeah. Like, I've always just kind of been a console person anyway. Like, my memory starts with me having a Super Nintendo, as I believe I mentioned sometime last week. And like I've had other consoles. Like I had a PS1, like not the PlayStation. I had the really tiny PS1 that they sold the flip up screen for. I had that. I had a PS2. I skipped the PS3, and got an Xbox 360 instead. Because that was also at, like, the peak of the Blu-ray HD DVD quote-unquote war. God. That also dates me. And, like, yeah, you could buy an external HD DVD drive for the Xbox 360, but, like, I mostly got it because it had more interesting games. Like, it had... What was the game? I got the Xbox 360 specifically for Eternal Sonata, the Beethoven is having a fever dream while he's dying JRPG. Which is a Namco Bandai JRPG, and that's why it interested me, because that was the same period where, you know, I had a GameCube and a Wii, so I played so much. I don't think I 100%ed Tales of Symphonia, but, like, I put a lot of time, and I did beat Tales of Symphonia. So, you know, it was fun. And then I did not get an Xbox One because I did not want to connect, and I did not want any of that other stuff because, like, why would I? Like, in hindsight, we've all seen how that went. But, like, even contemporaneously, I was like, I don't want an Xbox One. Like, not a launch Xbox One, at the very least. So I got a PS4, and I specifically got a PS4 for... I got it for Final Fantasy 14 and also the Super Giant game, Transistor. Which also says a lot about my tastes. And also what I tend to buy consoles for. I keep hitting pause instead of X, and that's because I've been playing a different JRPG that I'll talk about in a second. And I did eventually get an Xbox One, but way further on, and basically just to be a Blu-ray player that worked with regular remotes. Because using a Bluetooth remote is obnoxious. I'm gonna be real. I'm gonna be really real. Bluetooth remotes are obnoxious. I deal with it for the Apple TV, and that's just because I don't watch much of anything. And also because I have no clue how to, like, program my TV into the, Blu-ray player remote. Because at this day and age, I do just have a Blu-ray, I have a UHD Blu-ray player. Because I wanted Spider-Verse on UHD. Like, that's... I don't know. Those tend to be the reasons why I adopt non-Nintendo things, let's say. Like, I did get a Switch 2 at launch, but that's also because, like, I've gotten... I mean, I've gotten the Switch and Switch 2 at launch. Spider ran away. We're too scary for it. But it, like... You know, I got the Switch at launch, I fell in love with the Switch, and also I play a lot of Pokemon. And when you play a lot of Pokemon, you really, really notice how poorly Pokemon runs on the original Switch. And, like... I don't know. This is what, my third time streaming. Is this too early to get into spicy games industry takes, or is this like, or should I just like start early and keep going from there? Also, hi, Fire Whiskers. But yeah, like... I think... I don't know, it's a combination of things. One, Pokemon Company International crunched really hard for all for Sword Shield and Scarvi. Like, that's just a fact. But then from there you get into, you know, like, you know, TPCI isn't Nintendo. It's a separate thing. You know, TPCI is Nintendo and Game Freak and Creatures Inc. And that means that, like, they're kind of responsible for their own crunch decisions, but also at the same time, you're in this position where, like, because they're not even a second-party studio, like Intelligent Systems. Like, Intelligent Systems, who does Fire Emblem, are second-party. They're a wholly owned subsidiary of Nintendo. But, like, Game Freak and Creatures Inc. aren't, so they don't get access... They don't get the same amount of access to development hardware as other... as, like, other developers might. And that means you end up in this position where Sword Shield doesn't run the best. And it's, we exist in a universe where, like, Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom are probably the best to ever do it in terms of single-instance open-world games. But then we also live in a universe where, because, like, Game Freak and Creatures didn't have access to that stuff, you don't have an open world game that functions as well as, you know, Breath of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom, Super Mario Odyssey, Donkey Kong Bonanza, apparently. I'm honestly tempted by Donkey Kong Bonanza because everyone's going, like, buck wild about it, and it looks neat. Does Dio work on gargoyles? Let's find out. I'm just gonna hit defend. But yeah, so, like, I appreciate that they put in the work to make at least Scarvi run better. Okay, so Dia just doesn't work. Got it. I'm gonna just use Cure on Fighter then. But yeah, like, I wish the devs were given the time and also the resources to not have ended up in that position in the first place, to put it simply. I would say this has been my soapbox, but, like, let's be real, I never really get off my soapbox. I'm always on my soapbox. Last night, I was in the car with one of my partners, the one I live with, Tracy, and I just started ranting about mass transit. I was, like, genuinely upset about the state of mass transit, both in Seattle and also in the country. But, like, it was a very, like, deep, like, it was a 35-minute drive home, and I was complaining about it the whole time. That's just, the, you know, the kind of person I am. I am consistently on a soapbox. Yeah, this encounter rate is cranked. Paul was right. I need to just, like, buy a stupid amount of, like, potions and stuff. This game really punishes you for wanting to actually, like, use your healing magic. And, like, not even in a, like, Final Fantasy XIV way, where it's, like... Seattle Transit does bite. Thank you, Fire Whiskers. Like, I get so... Like, okay... This isn't even, like, deep tautology lore, but, like, just generally speaking tautology lore. Grew up in New York. Not in the city, but, like, close to the city, so I was there a lot. And, like, the New York City subway has gone to shit. And there are reasons for that. But, like, I'm just sitting here, like... Sound Transit just keeps doing own goals. Yeah, no, also that, like, thank you, Fire Whiskers. Like, I am getting so little HP for casting Cure, it is actively punishing me for bothering to use a spell slot on it. And it's... I don't know, I'm 36, I'm an old crank. Yeah, the New York City subway is... 24/7, 365. You can run that... You can be on that shit Christmas morning at 3 in the morning. It is running under Times Square while New Year's Rockin' Eve happens. It's like, it's going all the time. And if it does close or have, like, a thing where, like, the line gets, like, truncated, that's a big deal. Like, it was a big... So, fun fact about the New York City subway, there are 2 lines that go crosstown in Manhattan. The L and the 7. The 7 takes a bridge. The L goes through tunnels that are... They're not under the East River. They are at the bottom of the East River. So, when Superstorm Sandy happened, those got messed up. And so they tried it with closing one tunnel at a time. Didn't really work out. But then they closed them for a while. They did a ton of maintenance. But, like, that's how old the subway is and also how big of a deal it was that they had to, like, actually shut down the L from going into Manhattan. But, like, so, like, I'm going to a baseball game after this stream. Go Mariners. And I am, like, part of going to a baseball game as a poor disabled person who does not want to pay $50 for parking, means that I take the light rail there. But the Seattle Light Rail has a station called Stadium. There are two important things to know about the Seattle Light Rail station called Stadium. One, it is near neither stadium. You have to get to the baseball park, you have to go along a pedestrian path that does a sloping spiral up to cross freight rail lines and Amtrak and the commuter rail, and then takes either a staircase or an elevator back down, and that's the second base entrance. And then if you want to get to the football slash... And I'm not saying football slash soccer just because my Dutch girlfriend is now in chat. I'm saying football slash soccer because the American football team and also the American soccer team are closer to the International District station than the Stadium station, but no signage tells you that, which led me to have an autistic meltdown at Lumen Fields the one time I went to go see a women's soccer game. I mean, it's peaking, and also because it's peaking... Is that better? No, that's not better. Is that better? Can you... Okay. I'm gonna have to... Sorry, I did get a new mixing board literally right before this. I talked about that to no one, but, like, it'll be in the VOD. This is my third mixer over the course of this weekend, but this one will actually do what I want when I finish setting it up. Anyway, I lowered the mic in OBS. Yeah, no, I'm terrified of the World Cup being here, and, like, not just because of the political climate here right now. I'm also terrified just because of, like, how bad transit is in this city. Because, like, again, I'm disabled. I have to walk with a cane a lot of the time, especially if I'm walking a lot, which includes I'm walking from Stadium Station all the way to fucking, you know, T-Mobile Park. And it's like, cool, I'm just gonna, like, be in pain for several hours. Oh, yeah, no, shutting down I-5 North last weekend was a nightmare. But also, to be fair, I-5 is always a nightmare. It's why I don't necessarily follow the rules about when I'm allowed in the HOV lane. And it's also why I have put myself on a very short list of people who should be the only ones allowed to drive in the Puget Sound area. But that's a different show. But yeah, no, transit here is so bad. Like, I've been catching up on 99% Invisible and skipping the Power Broker episodes because I will just, like, rage out if I'm listening to various people read out Robert Moses' biography, because I hate Robert Moses so much. Like, I have a special deep burning hatred in my heart for Robert Moses because I'm from Long Island. Like, that dude used Long Island as his test bed for fucking up the rest of the country, and he fucked up Long Island worse, because on Long Island, he had no guide rails. So it's just, like, peak racism in terms of, like, road network design. Honestly, so, like, Robert Moses apparently got cremated, which kind of bums me out, because I really wish I could just piss on his grave. I feel like we can forget Robert Moses' name, one, when there's no longer a causeway named after him, and two, after the Cross Bronx Expressway is fully demolished and the scar in the Bronx is healed. Because that's the big problem. Is that the Bronx has a scar going through it. And that scar was made by Robert Moses. And that scar is called the Cross Bronx Expressway. Not that I had a topic to begin with, but I sure deviated. I have a friend who sent me a picture of Rush Limbaugh's grave after he pissed on it. A+. If I ever go to the UK, which, let me tell you, not gonna be anytime soon. If I ever go to the UK, I'm gonna, like, piss on Margaret Thatcher's grave. Apparently she died on, like, her death day and my birthday are the same. I think the years are different. Oh, Circuits, you're going to the UK soon. Can you piss on Margaret Thatcher's grave for me, please? Also, can you get me a vinyl record? I'll send you the money for it. Okay, fair. But yeah, I need to mail you and some other folks stuff soon. Alright, I have a bunch of cottages. I'll just use one. This is fine. It's a little dome. That's cute. But yeah, I'll talk to you about getting me a record later. But I'm mailing you and... Wait. Sorry, I got distracted because I recognize this music. But I'm sending you mail, and it'll have a package in it for one of our mutual friends. Because that's the easiest way to send things to Europe is to do it all in one package. Yeah, I'm excited Frequencies is heading over there. I miss being in Europe. Europe was nice. Like I have issues with the Parisian metro. Like, I'm sorry, it's 2025, and the fact that so little of it has fucking elevators or even escalators is just abysmal. Like, my disabled ass got beat to hell by the Paris metro. But I really liked being there. It was so nice. It was also nice because, like, I don't know, like, people always, like, I got warned by a bunch of people, like, you know, don't go in with high expectations or whatever. And it's like, I feel like the people who go into a foreign city with high expectations are the people that, like, haven't lived in an American city or, like, spent a lot of time in an American city, and I'm just over here, like, I spent most of my 20s, like, hanging out in New York City, and, like, going to shows, and, like, working, and just, like, hanging out with people, like, just existing as a human in a city, and, like, I feel like everyone should, like, living in a city, honestly, helps make you more well-adjusted. Is my personal opinion. But yeah, I miss being there because, like, I got there and I just immediately kind of, like, slotted in. And I was like, oh, yeah, no, this is a city. I know what I'm doing here. Like, I was staying in a Parisian suburb. I mean, suburbs are concentrated evil. That's extremely true. But, like, yeah, the variety of people and the variety of food are very good. Admittedly, I did have Domino's a bunch while I was in Paris, because I was staying in a suburb of Paris on the other side of the Seine. But also, like, Paris Domino's has spicy kebab pizza, and it's actually good. Hey, Paul. But, like, there was a pharmacy right across the street from where I was staying, and it was, like, so easy to just, like, like, they understood enough English, and also my boyfriend was with me, so I was able to, like, muddle through buying a cane, because I left my main cane in Seattle when I drove to New York, and then I bought a replacement in New York and forgot it in New York when I flew out of JFK to go to France. So I had to then buy a third cane. But, like, they were like, oh yeah, no, we have canes right over here, and it was like $20. Or, like, we went to a mall, because instead of, like, using power outlet adapters... Circuit said, gotta buy canes, cause you're not able. God! Christ! Christ almighty. But, like, so we went to a mall, which also was, like, it's a Westfield mall, which is, you know, like, I'm familiar with Westfield malls from being an American and dealing with malls. But, like, that mall was laid out so much like an American mall. And then, like, I went to the Apple store, got the adapters for the Apple charging bricks that go to European plugs, because that is easier in terms of voltages than using a converter, especially when dealing with USB-C power adapters, which automatically adjust their output based on what it's plugged into. So I just got 2 of those, and then we went to, like, the big, like, superstore there, and we were looking for some stuff, and I basically immediately clocked where all of it was, even though, like, it's not an American chain. It's, like, you know, it's a foreign chain, but it felt so much like being in a Walmart that I immediately knew where the thing we were looking for was, and I was right. And my boyfriend was like, how? What? How? And it's like, it's a superstore in a mall. I know what I'm, like, this is the most American thing. And then I had a Burger King sandwich with, like, a French cheese on it. I forget which cheese. I wrote it down. But, like, I don't know. That was fun. It was... Why did I get a worse shield? That's weird. Sure. You should eat more cheese. Everyone should eat more cheese. No, it wasn't Swiss cheese, you ass. Hold on. I'm going to my... I have a note that is just, like, food stuff. It was Cantel cheese. You need to tell me... God. You need to tell me what kind of cheese you're buying. Because, like, I don't understand cheese being expensive. Like, that is a... Like, I get foreign cheeses for inexpensive here. So, like, I don't get... No, we've talked about this. We've talked about this. But everyone should eat more cheese. Like... That's really expensive for 2.12 pounds of Gouda. That is actually really expensive. That's fucked up. Like, that feels food deserty to me. Yeah, I mean, I'm also approaching lactose intolerance, Fire Whiskers. Like, I can't really do chocolate anymore. And, like, I'm kind of getting there on, like, ice cream and milk if I'm just drinking milk. But, like, you cannot... I will make myself suffer for the sake of cheese. It's cheese. How could... It's cheese. I need cheese. Just, like, all the time. Like, genuinely, like, trying even just, like, French variations on cuisine I've had before was just really fun and good. It was genuinely, like, I don't know, it was also just, like, nice, just kind of, like, being around. Like, I took my boyfriend to the creperie that is used for a dream sequence in Twin Peaks: The Return. And so my boyfriend's a Breton, Breton. And turns out this was a Breton creperie. So, like, we got to have, like, buckwheat crepes and stuff, and it was so good. So, and it was also incredibly affordable. I spelt it, you ass! Bullying me. So it's It's effective against aquatic enemies. Okay, I'll save that for when we're in like the water place. Yeah, but also fighter doesn't like 1 attack for 2 accuracy is a decent trade, but also like fighter hasn't really missed. Like, I'm pretty sure I'm over-leveled. Because I don't run from fights. Like, I'm pretty sure this game is designed to have you running away more, and I just don't. Because I'm not used to that as a concept, really. Like, that's just so not in my brain. Anyway, yeah, we went to this Breton creperie, and, like, it was inexpensive and really good, and our boyfriend really liked it, and we really liked it, and it was just, like, a really fun time, and then, like, my boyfriend took me to a queer bar, and, like, it was right after, like, an intersex activism group talked, and so, like, I mentioned that, like, I'm an intersex American visiting my boyfriend, and, like, they made a special punch button for me, which was really sweet, and they gave, I bought a comic from them that's about what being intersex is, and it's in French, because I do want to learn French, but I probably need to hire a tutor. And it was just nice. I don't know, I had a great time in France, and part of that was definitely, like, I'm not an obnoxious American tourist. The one time I did get loud as an American, well, as an English speaker at least, we were on the bus and it was very crowded. And before I get to the rest of the story, I will say, everyone was super nice about me being disabled. Like, strangers were just offering their seat, and it was just really nice, and everyone was really good at, like, making sure I got to sit, because my boyfriend and I are disabled. And so we both got to sit. But, like, one time it was a really crowded bus, like, full of commuters, and it was just jam-packed, and people weren't moving to the back to let people getting on in. And so I said very loudly in English, "People, please move to the back of the bus so other people can get on." And they did. And that was the only time I was a loud English speaker. I'm unfortunately too acclimatized to the Netherlands to be anything but extremely Dutch when a tourist in France. What does being extremely Dutch entail? I need to know. Oh, those die in, like, no hits. But yeah, I had a really nice time, and I just felt really comfortable just, like, in, like, the Paris region. Like, I didn't get all, like, I did have a nice time at the Eiffel Tower, but also part of that was I got cheap tickets to go up to the, like, middle part, because I'm disabled. And, okay, so, like, in Europe, they have, like, cards for when you're disabled to say, like, "Hi, I'm disabled." And, you know, any American can tell you we don't really have that, but what we do have is if you have, at least in Washington, if you have a accessible parking permit or an accessible parking plate, you were given a card to keep in your wallet to say, "Yes, this is my placard," or "Yes, this is my car." And I had that in my wallet. And that was enough identification for the ticket sellers at the Eiffel Tower to let us go up for like €12. Like, it was deeply affordable. It was nice. It was fun. Though what was also funny about that is that, you know, we're in this... It's a funicular. Going up the Eiffel Tower, it's literally just a funicular. And there's a tour group in there. And my boyfriend is talking to the tour guide in there and talking about how I'm visiting and I'm from Seattle. And her eyes light up and she turns to me and she's like... Sorry, I'm thinking about it. It's really funny. Her response is, "You know Grey's Anatomy?" And I just like... I was like, yeah, because I've never watched Grey's, so it didn't immediately occur to me that Grey's Anatomy takes place in Seattle. But it does. And it was just like... I appreciate that was the first poll this woman came to, and it was just really funny. But yeah, no, like I just had, it was a really nice time. The Dutch tourists aren't particularly notable other than being very independent, but also, like, you will somehow find Dutch tourists fucking everywhere. I mean, I'm, like, I guess I'm pretty independent as a tourist because I try not to, like, act like a tourist. Like, I go to a place and I'm, like, on my foot or I'm taking mass transit and I'm just kind of, like, exploring on my own terms. Like, I feel like I'm a tourist way more in New York City than I am literally anywhere else. And that's because New York City has so many goddamn museums. And I miss the American Museum of Natural History the most, and part of that is it has its own subway station. And part of that is because I saw They Might Be Giants underneath the suspended model of a blue whale. It was a free all-ages show they did. And it was the first and so far only time I've heard them do the famous polka with lyrics. And if that needed to tell you that I'm a white queer in my mid-30s, well, there you go. Also fun. You'll also find Americans anywhere, but it's a bit more impressive when the country is a factor of 15 smaller population-wise. I mean, yeah, unfortunately, like, I'm not even going to apologize for the bad tourist Americans. Like, I also hate them. I wish I could just disown them, because they are like that in America, too, is the thing. And it sucks. Like, tourists will come to... is part of why I kind of hated my job at the Seattle Aquarium, is that tourists will come from more suburban or rural areas and forget how to behave around people. Or, like, forget how to behave around strangers, I guess. Like, one time I had a stranger literally grab my arm and yank to look at my tattoo, which is an absolutely insane thing to do. And made me, like, really viscerally upset. But then it's also the thing of, like... And I mean, this is a problem pervading kind of everywhere at this point, because everyone has just kind of gotten ruder. People just standing in front of, like, elevators or bus doors or train doors when you're trying to get on or off. And it's like, you do need to, like, you need to be aware. Or, like, they'll get to the top of an escalator and just stand there, and it's like, have some amount of spatial awareness. Please. I beg of you. But that's also why I don't go to the waterfront anymore. I guess the stereotype is just finding Dutch literally anywhere for no particular reason. Is there a way I could, like, is there some sort of, like, Dutch, like, this might get Paul, but, like, if you can single out Texans in a crowd by just saying the stars at night are big and bright, is there a way to do that with the Dutch? Just yell, "Hey, Berman"? Oh, hey, neighbor. Okay. Is it Berman, or is it, like, Burman? Or, like, what's the two U's there? So, like, Burman? Like, ooh or Okay. Well, I'll try that sometime when I'm in one of the more touristy areas. God, I was watching Erica Cole's stream, and I was talking about how this game uses spell slots in for instead of MP. And it's just like, this really is a special kind of suffering. It's like, wow, this game really does punish you for wanting to, like, actually cast spells. But yeah, I started playing Fantasian, the Switch port. Because I wanted a game to just, like, play by myself. Like, something that isn't on the air. And it's good, to be clear. It's great. I'm having a lot of fun with it. The like, kind of, like, attack shaping stuff is really neat. And I would love to see... It feels kind of like Tales of-y, in a way. But, like, not as much. You're still, like, it's still, like, turn-based combat. But also I like that. I like a good turn-based combat. I did not want to hit defend. Whatever. But, Fantasian uses the X button for uses the uppermost face button for a different thing. So, so you have to hit pause to get, or Y to get to the main menu. Hitting Y is also weird. I'll throw the other one there. And those I'll just use Cure on. Yeah, that works. I have 5 Curas. I have heal. I think I'll be fine. But yeah, so that's why I was hitting pause repeatedly. But yeah, we're on our way to getting the Earth Crystal. So we're finally doing, like, the actual plot of this game, which is exciting. Everything else was lead up to being able to do the plot. Which I guess also kind of speaks to, how old this game is. But yeah, like, damn, this really is an AD&D campaign. Okay. Use ether. And I'm gonna quick save. Things in this world are destined to end in death. The seal cannot be broken, and so the earth shall rot. Mere mortals cannot kill the Undying. I mean, yeah, it's good if you go into it with the right expectations, but I feel like this is the sort of thing where, yeah, you can really see where the rest of Final Fantasy comes from in this, but also, like, dang, having spell slots. Wait, did I really just, like, 3-hit this guy? What? That's so funny. You can't kill the Undying! Kills the Undying. Star Rubies. Don't you get those in the Dravanian Forelands? And now we have to backtrack. I'll just defend. I mean, this is also, like, a thing Final Fantasy really doesn't, like... like, even... What, like... Like, I think Final Fantasy III moves you to the exits of places, or like a lot of the dungeons in 3, because I played 3 on the original DS until I lost my cart, annoyingly. But I'm, like, at least in that port, like, it moved you out of places, or like, typically the dungeons were you going through a place, and then, like, a cutscene happened. But yeah, this is... This might be just, like... Because this is... I'll respond to that in a sec. The music in here is typically associated with Mount Gulg going forward. But, like, I guess it might be just, like, kind of... Like, it might just be... like, cave music or dungeon music? I would say more that the original, not the ARR dungeons, but the 1.x dungeons are more like that. I would definitely say that the, yeah, but, like... So, Cutter's Cry, Zamile Darkhold, Aurum Vale, and Totorak were all ARR were all 1.x dungeons. And you can still see how they originally were before they were reworked. Like, especially, like, Zamile and Totorak, where you just have like these little offshoots that you have to like grab a thing in, and like you end up with more of a thing if you go through every offshoot and stuff like that. Like, that's very this. I feel like I would say Copper Bell and Copper Bell Hard are really in that mold, but everything else kind of isn't. Yeah, I mean, I'm also kind of not playing Final Fantasy IV. I am taking an extended hiatus, let's put it that way. But yeah. 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 But yeah, I think just kind of overall, I'm kind of like... Yeah, that's also the thing, is that, like, Square using all of 14's profits to fund their dumb AI NFT bullshit is really annoying. And it, like... Like, I feel like that's the core, like... People complain about, like... And, like, people rightly complain about, like, why aren't there built-in guides to these things? But, like, part of that is, like... It is harder to justify to executives what they will see as tertiary to the quote-unquote product than it is to just, like, put the bare minimum into the, again, quote-unquote product. I hate using the word product like this, but you get what I mean. Like, these, like, things like guides or, like, retools that aren't, you know, like, lowest common denominator and stuff like that would be better and, like, exist more if all of 14's money wasn't going to these dumb little ventures that make no money. Alright, enjoy the anime. Speaking of anime, I've been watching City the Animation with my nesting partner, Tracy. It's so good! City the Animation is so good. I need to go back and, like, finish watching Nichijou. Like, everything I've seen of Nichijou, I love. I really need to go back and finish watching Nichijou, like, friggin' ASAP. But yeah, most of what I watch these days are, like... I'm watching City the Animation. I'm watching... I'm just gonna flee. F this. City the Animation, and I'm 2 weeks behind on Kamen Rider Gav and number 1 Sentai Gozyuger. Because honestly, Tokusatsu, like, Toei Tokusatsu is most of what I keep up on these days. And Gav has just been really good. I'm really excited for Zests. Because, I mean, it's gonna be simulcast, apparently. And, like, maybe a dub, probably subbed. But, like, I'm excited for that. I hope it's good, because Gav is really fucking good. Gav is so fucking... like, the thing with a lot of the thing with the sort of tokusatsu that Toei does these days is you can usually boil it down to some like nouns or verbs or adjectives, and like very few, I mean. So like you can describe Kamen Rider Fourze as space and friendship. You can describe Kamen Rider X-Aid as yeah, I'm not wasting a cottage. You can describe Kamen Rider X-Aid as doctors and video games. You know. But, so Gav is... Gav is about... Honestly, the best way to put it, Gav is about community building and snacks. That's the best way to put it. Gav is about community building and snacks. Community building, healing from trauma, and snacks. Admittedly, every Kamen Rider is about healing from trauma, but... It's about community building and snacks. It's really good. It's very brightly colored. The fight choreography is like a whole new level for what Kamen Rider has been. Like, they're not just jumping to Cories and like what I like to call the Toei industrial complex, where it's like, you know, that like power plant or whatever where it's all like steam pipes and stuff. Like, they're not using the same 4 places that have room for suit actors to fight in. They are shooting in alleyways. They are shooting, like, the first episode has a fight amongst shipping crates, and it whips because it's these really tight fight spaces, and it's so cool. And it's, like, genuinely, I think, the best fight choreography that Kamen Rider has done on television. To be clear, the fight choreography in Shin Kamen Rider is... I love Shin Kamen Rider so much. I need to get Shin Kamen Rider on Blu-ray in the States, and it's still not on Blu-ray in the States. But, like, I need... It's so good, it's so good, it's so good. I love it so much. Where the hell is the item store? Those are the magic stores. Really, dude? Let me pull up a map. Is there not an item store here? What? Because that's like the... That's weapon. That's black magic, that's white magic. There's not an item store here. What? Whatever. But yeah, I've, like, and you can tell Gav is kind of in the wrap-up arc. Because, like, yeah, of course. Like, that's what happens. So, Kamen Rider and Super Sentai are half years off from each other. And it means that, like, when the Super Sentai is finishing its first arc, Kamen Rider is getting close to its final arc. And also, the new Super Sentai kicks ass. It's the 50th anniversary series, and I really like the way Super Sentai does its anniversary series, because it doesn't focus too much on, like, trying to, like, interact deeply with these past things. They just kind of, like, usually feature the Red Rangers from previous seasons, and it's a cute little thing. And I like it. But it's a really cute show that's about, like, what do your dreams mean for being a person? I don't know. It's also kind of like a Destiny versus free will tale. I don't know. I just really like it. Like, I really wish this stuff was, like, simulcast to begin with. Because I think everyone should be watching... Ooh. Ooh. But I think everyone should be watching... Yeah. I think everyone should be watching Kamen Rider and Super Sentai. To be entirely honest. But, you know, I'm also a little freak who, you know, spends a lot of time just, like, caring a lot about that stuff. I have so many belts. I really need to set up, like, an online photo gallery or something, because I do have a lot of belts. And I like how they're displayed. And also if they ever make a complete... Bandai makes all the Kamen Rider toys, which also means that they're good. And there's the line of, like, toys that are for kids, and that's typically called the DX line. Pardon. And then there's the complete selection modification line, which are cosplay grade Kamen Rider belts. They're also, like, memorial toys, which tend to have, like, voice lines from the actors in it. So, like, we have the memorial sword from King Oger, which is, like, imagine if a Boppet was a sword. And you're, like, that's just it. That's it right there. You don't need to know anything else. It's if a Boppet was a sword. And also whips, to be clear. It's so much fun to just, like, stim with to the point where we have to, like, actively not. But yeah. Oh, I'm even back on the world map. Fun. Huh. The belt for the new season of Kamen Rider is already up for pre-order. Neat. But yeah, like... I don't know, I'm kind of blathering. So I gave the giant the Star Ruby we got from defeating the vampire. Wait, did I actually go in the cave? I don't think I did. I think my brain just severely farted. As it does. How is everyone else doing? Good. Work project or personal project? Fun. Yeah, we have a few personal projects we need to get back to. I mean, this is one of them. Need to upload the VODs. Do a teensy bit of editing. Is it the sort of personal project that you'd be okay talking about? Because like, if you're willing to, I'd love to hear about it. Earthrod. Yeah, the cave / pause music is cute. It is jaunty. Yeah, I guess I do kind of think of the Matoya's Cave music as typically somber. Ooh, audio dramas. You have my attention. Oh, hell yeah. As you have to do. Like, yeah. Oh, shit. That's dope as hell. You've won a... Like, that's so cool. I think that... Technically, the closest I've come to winning an award... Well, okay, there's two technicallys. The first, technically, is that I consulted on an Eisner-nominated comic book. Unfortunately, I'm not credited in the comic book, and I wish I were. But I consulted on an Eisner-nominated comic book. The other, technically, is that I am credited for QA for having done DLC doing QA for DLC 2 of The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. I have an IMDb page. It's weird. But no, that's no, I'm glad that art featuring literal trans voices is literally award-winning. That's so cool. Ooh. Audio drama long form. Hell yeah! That's sick as hell! I mean, like... I mean, you have to have a token cis, dude. Usually that person ends up not being cis. Hi, Paul. But, you have to start with a token cis, dude. Every time. I should actually, like, use a tent or something before I go further in. Ooh. VTM with with a bunch of trans folks on it will definitely whip ass. I've written some things, like, I think technically the work I am best known for is an essay about how Final Fantasy XIV's Dark Knight quests helped us be a stable plural system. You have a celebrity in the cast. Ooh. I'm tempted to ask who, but, like, I don't know if you're keeping that under wraps or not. Thank you. Yeah, apparently that helped a bunch of other people self-actualize as systems. Which is always, like, really flustering to hear about. Oh! Okay. Sorry. I've met her, she's cool, but also, like, unfortunately, I'm hyper-aware of various polycules. So I'm just sitting here like, oh yeah, I know who she at least was dating, and I know who that person's dating, and like, Listen, it's not even in That's so... See, I was thinking of... wasn't Catherine Cross dating Zandra at a point? Because I still talk to Aura. Maybe we've met. I don't know. Okay, so, like... Catherine is still dating Zandra. Zandra is still dating Aura. And I still talk to Aura sometimes. Mostly about, like, game opinions. I mean, it's messy / pause. This is funny. This is... Literally, this just happens. Being queer and trans is so funny sometimes. We might have met, because, like, it's not that I keep it a secret that I'm, like, ostensibly we're Fiona Adams. It's just, like, that's not who's in front right now. It's just, like, I mean, we might have met. It's statistically probable. Seattle's weird. I don't know, like, I had lunch with Colin, one of the folks who ran co-host, but I'm also the person who, like, had lunch with Roman Mars once when I was in beautiful downtown Oakland, California. I don't know, life is just weird. It is. Life is genuinely so funny. Oh. Sorry, I can't. That's so funny. Listen, I'm me. If I had to guess, that phrasing was slightly on purpose. I think after I finish the Earth Temple, I will take a break. I knew it was on purpose. 'Cause it's Seattle! I know what's up. It's just, I don't know, life is so weird and funny, because also, like, so, like, I have BPD, I also don't make a secret of this. It's also blindingly obvious. But, like, part of the BPD in, like, a positive way is that, like, I tend to be, like, hyper aware of social connections that other people have. So, like, I kind of build maps of how people are connected in my head, which is also just how I can, like, how I end up staying aware of, like, polycules. But also it's like a bunch of streamers who are like, yeah, we're going to Seattle for a thing this weekend, and some people said it was a wedding, and like all those streamers are friends, and like they only have one friend who lives in Seattle, so it's like, I know who's getting married this weekend. And, like, it wasn't even a secret that this person was getting married. It's just, like... Oh, I know Maddie! I don't like Trello, actually. I'm so... Okay, first off, Fire Whiskers, did Maddie make polycule.es? Because I've seen that one. But otherwise, I'm so... God, that's so funny. I met Maddie via the Apocrypals Discord, because I used to be a mod in the Apocrypals Discord. But then, like, I was just having a really bad brain time, and also was behind on the podcast, so I ended up leaving. But, like, one of the things I did as a mod was get Benito to put Plural Kit in the Apocrypals Discord. And so I rejoined the Apocrypals Discord, because, like, I was still talking to Benito, usually about Homestuck stuff. Or billboards I'd see for evangelical stuff that I'm pretty sure were heresies. Which is also really funny to talk about. But so, like, I joined the Apocrypals Discord, and I see other people using Plural Kit, and one of them's Maddie, and it's like... That's... really funny, and then it's like, oh, you live right there. You live, like, right there. I'm pointing to the roughly northeast. I'm like, oh, you live right there. And it's just like, God. Seattle is, like, infinitely small. It's so weird. And, like, I'm saying Seattle broadly as the greater, like, King County, Puget Sound, blah, 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 blah. But, like, it's so fucking small in this city. It's really funny. We might have met. We literally might have met, Fire Whiskers. This is really funny. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, all the Zoroark branding that's our system Sona. Because we're broadly Therian. Why are there 6 of you guys? Pardon me. Alright, I will do that after because I'm also mostly looking at OBS to do this. To play this game, because even though I have the TV on, it's just easy. Like, this game doesn't require any fast inputs. I don't need... I can deal with the slight, but unfortunately noticeable delay. Okay, we might have, but I'm not sure. I haven't really gone to, like... Unfortunately, like, it's partially the BPD and partially, like, other stuff. But, like, I've never actually, like, gone to Pride or, like, any kink events, because 11 years in, still dealing with kind of crippling dysphoria. But, like... Yeah, it's weird and complicated, and I'm figuring it out. I mean, part of it is the intersex stuff. Like, I had 2 half-assed puberties when I was a teenager, and it made life really weird. I'm finally seeing an endocrinologist later this year. Because I've done all of my trans stuff. I first went to the gender clinic at Mount Sinai Beth Israel in New York City, which did involve taking commuter rail an hour and 20 minutes into New York City. But also, like, the doctor I had there has published research at this point, which is dope as hell. And also I was being treated by a trans woman, so... And now I go to Country Doctor, which, you know, almost everyone here does. I mean, it's all Seattle roots now, but, like, literally ran into a friend of mine at Carolyn Downs once, which was really funny. But, I don't know, Seattle's just kind of infinitely small. We'll probably run into each other at some point. I'm... like... God. It's really funny how infinitely small the world is sometimes. Alright, we're on floor 4. Let's do it. Because also at this point, I don't have to worry about walking back. Wait, are these actually scaled up enemies now? Nope. Of course not. White Mage's casting animation really looks like she's flipping the bird. Like, I understand it's her hand up and it's blocked by her robe, but it really does look like she's giving the bird. Yeah. Alright, just Pisco Demons. I'm not gonna bother casting magic. Well, no, I need to heal. Let's throw a Kira on Thief. Let's just use a... Oh, right, let me sort. There we go. Yeah, that is a really good sprite. These troll sprites look like they're in a hair metal band. And, like, I dig it. But they do look like they're in a hair metal band. Yeah. I heard about that literally while stuck in traffic on the way to Guitar Center this morning. Like... It sucks that he died, but also, like, at least it was after the big big Black Sabbath reunion show, so, like, he got to actually experience, like, how much his music and his work still mean to people. Yeah. Like, yeah, it was a very short amount of time, but it's like, you know. I'd call that an example of good karmic timing. Not karmic, but like, I don't know. That, you know, I don't necessarily believe in, like, any particular deity, But that feels like circumstances aligning to really do him a solid. Contained. Oh, I didn't realize Y opens a map! I'm so stupid. Why am I getting these old busted weapons? Sphinx. Ugh. Yeah, okay. Yeah, whatever. Ooh. Ooh. I do appreciate that I'm at least getting a fuck ton of money so that the next time I'm in a town that has an item shop, I can, like, fully stock up. Also, because apparently the plot is going to require me to spend 50,000 gil on, like, a key item at some point, which, like, you know. Yeah, that's, like, that's real, like, that's real, like, old school, gamers right there. You know, back in my day, we had to grind uphill both ways in the snow. And we liked it. I mean, I'm also saying that as someone who's been playing Pokemon since literally the series hit the... Paul... Yeah, like, I don't know. I've been, like, genuinely, I think it's safe to say that Pokemon was my first, like, experience with a JRPG. So, like, I'm familiar with, like, that kind of attitude. But also, it's like, oh. Like, just because things used to be a way doesn't mean they should stay that way, you know? Like, so, like, I don't know, there was a certain point in me playing Final Fantasy XIV where my favorite parts of patch notes were quality of life updates. Ooh. Panzer Dragoon Saga was Sega, right? Okay. Yeah, as much as I begged my mom for a Dreamcast, and she kept making quote-unquote deals with me to give me a Dreamcast, I never had Sega stuff growing up. But, like, I don't know, that's also a thing I do want to kind of do as part of streaming, is, like, spend some time going back into eras or systems that I missed. Like, Friends at the Table is doing that right now, where, Friends at the Table's current season is called, Perpetua. They are playing a game called Fabula Ultima, which is literally, you are playing a JRPG as, like, the book. But, like, not just say, like, you know, hey, you're playing a JRPG, but, like, in a very specific way of, like, you get to make these big moves and take actions that can impact the story in big ways, like, big swings. And it's a lot of, like, they're in the 3rd arc currently. And even that, I'm having such a blast. And as part of that, Jack DeKeat, the show's composer and also one of the show's players, is getting educated on, like, Dreamcast era JRPGs, because that's what they're aiming for with Perpetua. He's getting educated on Dreamcast era JRPGs by Keith J. Carberry, and I think also Andrew Lee Swan. And it's just, I don't know, that's cool. And I kind of want to do something like that, where it's like, you know, like, my sibling system is huge into Sonic. And, like, I enjoy Sonic in terms of what I know about the lore and stuff. And, like, the Sonic movies are so good. Like, the Sonic movies are so good. Like, I cannot give them enough credit. They are, for what they are, the Sonic movies are really good. But also, like, those are just, like, huge, like, gameplay blind spots for me. Like, I do not know how to play a 2D Sonic. Like, it is such a foreign concept to me, really. And then there's just all the other stuff. And then also maybe I'll get smoke and mirrors and, you know, do a bus shift. You know. Get one of those real American jobs. God, this game is throwing money at me. Holy shit. But yeah, like, Skies of Arcadia is one I've heard of, and I'd love to play it. And also, like, I do eventually want to get to a point with streaming where it's like... I mean, I do kind of need a job. Like, part of why I'm trying to stream more and do so regularly is because I need a source of income, because I do not have one. So, you know, if you're enjoying me streaming, tell your friends, and they should, like, follow me. So I can, like, get subs and stuff. Anyway, oh, right, I have to use a friggin'... Let me do that now. I mean, like, I don't know, I don't mind slow in terms of, like, a JRPG. And, like, especially as I get further along in the Final Fantasies, and also as I start playing other JRPGs on stream, part of the thing is that, like, I'll be doing, like, backtracking or, like, things that involve a lot of travel off stream and just kind of like prep. I honestly should have been doing that for this, where I'd like go buy items in advance and stuff, but like unfortunately, even though I'm jobless and disabled, I am kind of chronically busy. Okay. In the final floor. Let's do it. Alright, good luck with the packing. See you later, Paul. Yeah, God, everyone's moving this month, huh? Oh, a bunch of people moving. And none of them are close enough for me to be the car friend. I don't know, for the first, like, plot dungeon, I still feel like I'm bowling through this. And part of that is I do just feel, like, way overleveled. I mean, yeah, there is nothing wrong with feeling strong, Fire Whiskers. It's more just the... I feel like I've accelerated past the curve, I guess? I think that's enough healing. I don't know, it's kind of like that thing where, like, it's really obvious when you're past the curve in a Pokemon game. Because suddenly you're, like, steamrolling, like, the 8th gym leader and just trampling the Elite Four. And, like, obviously this game is... Like, this game is still challenging, but it's not... It's more challenging in a design way than it is challenging in a, how to say... It's not challenging in a, like... battle mechanics way. It's challenging in a... This game feels slow. And, like, this game feels its age, let's say. Well, this might be a full party wipe. Wouldn't be the first time. That's also what I get for, you know, not entirely paying attention. That's on me. Yeah, of course it missed. I can just kill him still really fast. Sure. Works for me. Honestly, you know what? It's 3. Like, I've been at this for roughly 2 hours. I think I'll get back to Melmond to, like, heal. And, you know, I think I'll call it there. But, like, I don't know. Like, that design of the Earth Dungeon is so... It's just looping rooms, and, like, I get it. It's, like, caves within caves, but also, like, you know... It's not... You know, dungeon design has come so far in the intervening time, you know? Like, even by the time of Pokemon, like, Viridian Forest still felt more, like, dynamic, I guess? But also, like, part of it is just, like... I mean, Paul said it in, like, Stream 1, but, like... Damn, the encounter rate is cranked. Alright. Well, thank you so much for joining me for episode 3 of Final Fantasy Feast. If you're enjoying this, feel free to follow. I don't think you can subscribe yet, but hopefully I'll get enough followers that you can subscribe. But, like, I'm on Blue Sky at FionaFromTheInter.net. And that links to basically everywhere else. And also, if you go to Pleonastic Tautology on YouTube, you will soon be able to see the VODs of this stream. But in the interim, I'll catch you next week. Bye-bye.